Ooh. Right, so back into it. So we're on item 4.1, which is page 104. Yeah, I did rip a page out, so 104. Sorry. And that's our work program.
Where would you?
Yeah, where would you like to? You can, wherever you like. Wherever you can.
Right, good morning, board. Just the standard work program up to the end of September. There's always that lag of getting all the financials and all the details in, getting it into the agenda. And so it seems like 30th September seems like a lifetime ago, but it is what it is. So happy to take any questions and run through it however you want to do that. First couple of questions, couple of points I just raised. Obviously, things that you guys are well aware of, delays. We're definitely getting a lot of delays coming in to supply of materials and stuff, things which normally we would have thought is a long lead time, like an 8-week lead time. Now it's easily 20 weeks for a lot of things. So that's causing quite a few issues. Steel and concrete has gone up substantially in the last 3 months. We're talking like 20% or 20 or 40% on some of these things. So costs are rising. We do our best to try and manage that and get in front of it. We do have a lot of stuff that's actually booked in and ready to go for next calendar year. So it's definitely going to be a lot of stuff happening in the second half of the financial year. But yeah, as I say, that's all preamble that you guys are probably all aware of, and I'm happy to take any questions and run through it.
Mine's more of a comment. So I think those things that you've said, most of this room probably have no issue with agreeing with that. I think it'd be useful for us to have a media release, particularly through local papers. More so some of the issues that council are facing and what we're doing to try and get over that. So that people out there understand that this ain't very easy. And so something we thought was going to cost us $1 million 2 years ago, now we go to do it, might be 1.4 more million. It's not through any inefficiency on our part. It's just
the industry.
And I'm sort of making it reasonable general to say, and other businesses are facing the very same issue as your council, as council's facing. But I think that's sort of like that to me is what I need people in the community understanding. There's a lot of them think we're useless. But very few of them actually understand the work that's done behind the scenes to keep these things on track and as affordable as they are.
Yeah.
Then, that's only as a comment. I'm saying it's almost like a good news story, but a bad news story.
Yeah.
We are in the global market. We're not immune from the price rises.
No.
And yet we've still got to deliver the services that people have an expectation for. And and we have provided many of those expectations.
That's a good point. I'll take a note of that.
I have, go.
Sheriff Prop Development. I see here, and I just would like an update, updated contract we issued end of October. Can you just tell us where we are in that, where hoppers are wanting to get stock off, because I know they wanted to get stock off almost a year ago.
Yeah.
And I want to know if Alan Tiplady is still involved in the mix there, please.
So through the chair, Alan Tiplady can't get away. He is still involved.
That's great getting reassurance.
It's good.
Well, I've got more great years.
The other thing is we hope to get the contract sorted by the end of October, but we're getting very close. So we've had emails in the last week of October going backwards and forwards with them. So we're getting very close to landing that. Andrew is just away on sick leave actually at the moment, so he's looking after that. So yes, I'm not quite sure exactly where they've got from the last week or so, but I haven't seen the emails in the last week or so, but it was getting very, very close. So that means everything. Yeah, unless Alan might have a better handle on it, but I think we're pretty close.
There was an updated version came through last week from
Aries.
From Aries to Andrew, and I don't know that he's responded yet, but it's getting very close.
Very close.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you wouldn't see any dirt moving until the late end of November. Could be the earliest I'd say that you'd see anything happening.
Well, I'll just say I have a great deal of of assurance that Alan's still involved in checking that contract, because as I've said at this meeting numerous times, after the sports field, someone just took a fair hiding on that, and we don't want to take a fair hiding again.
Understand, and we've really, through the chair, we've really belt and braces, we've had it all reviewed, the contract and everything, we're getting all of that stuff, externally reviewed, so we're not kind of undercooking anything, we're making sure that we're doing everything, by the book. Yeah, exactly, we're really taking a thorough approach to how we're managing any risk.
Can I ask another question, please?
You may.
Minor reserves projects, and we've got playground renewals. I understand one's being done at Simpsons Beach at the moment.
Right.
Can someone, I had a ratepayer ring up yesterday, what a waste of money, blah, 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 it's listed a renewal. Can someone give me a ballpark figure what's being spent on there so I can get back, or sometime? Doesn't need to be right now, Brad.
I'll take a note, I'll come back to you.
Just to give, I need a bit of background just to say it's renewal and one thing another.
Simpsons
Just,
Beach.
yeah, it's just that one there.
No problem.
Jeremy,
Can I ask a third question?
okay, yes, you may. And then Jeremy, you're next.
Well, ask Jeremy first, because he's hanging out.
You have to take yourself off mute, Jeremy.
Yeah, just for Bruce, just quickly, I don't know if you're able to give any updates on the transfer centre, for the Young Transfer Centre, where we're at that.
That's my question. No, I don't have any kind of, any more of an update than what's going, so I'm just scanning, trying to find it now, here we go. No, I don't have any more update than what's included in there, so, yeah, I think everything's kind of moving forward, but again.
Could we perhaps have just an email setting up where we are on that, what we're doing, whether, and we've got mechanical equipment selection completed.
Yeah.
I'd really like to know, is it being ordered, what are the lead times, because that can push it out another 18 months.
Yeah.
And we hope to have it done by this Christmas.
Yeah.
I want to see it done by next Christmas. But if we can't get equipment, we need to, if we can't get it, we need, in line with what Tony said earlier, we need to get down there and out to the public and say, yes, we've ordered the equipment, yes, there's a lead time, we're sorry it was not this Christmas, but we're waiting, and let's get some, be proactive rather than take the kick in the head every time, if we can, please.
No, that's no problem at all, yeah, and we're transitioning like one of our new project managers across into that project as well, obviously we've had a change in staff. Obviously Andrew Scobie is looking after that, and he's moved on, so we have got a replacement obviously already on staff, and so we're just working through those transitions around a number of projects.
Andrew Bowden's moved on to New Zealand.
No, Andrew Scobie.
Yeah.
Was there anything else, Jeremy?
No, that was just a question. I just wanted to know who was taking over that project management role. Now that Andrew Scobie's not doing it, I think the question's been answered.
Yes, so Andrew Bowden at the moment, but Campbell Power is our new project manager for the Inga, and I think he'll be picking that one up at some stage as well, but obviously he's getting to grips with other projects as well and trying to keep things moving, so at the stage it's Andrew Bowden.
Yeah, mine was really a comment, and that's been more social media by some of the people in town. The playground in South Highway.
Yes.
So there is no plan to either sell the land or do anything.
No.
The discussion that has been had is it would be potentially an ideal site for a community marae, which is something Nadi Hay have been talking about for some time, because it backs onto the sports complex. And so when people want to host events, there will be a way of accommodating people through that, and have a cultural centre for Maori who live in this area that aren't Ngāti Hay. You can't go to Ngāti Hay. So it's just when that comes up, somehow we've got to have a better way of knocking it over, because these are the same people who are provocative in what they say. And there's no kickback. I would say you would have seen me, some of them saying, well, I'll leave you my computer if you've got no information, because plenty of them have got information to it. I would say we have to get on top of these people, because one of them spreads the word, and the next thing there's 100 bloody people all thinking that we're taking that playground out and selling it for someone to build houses for rich people. I've never heard that discussed in my lifetime.
No. instead of reacting to what it was, some requests for play equipment at the sports park.
Correct.
Yes.
So that's, I would say, I think from a comms point of view, someone has to get over that stuff because it doesn't make your life any easier and it just fuels these lunatics.
Yeah, I think if there's any, through the chair, if there's anything going on, I agree with what you're saying, councillor Fox. If anything's going on like that you're seeing social media, I think as long as you get it through to the comms team, who then can get involved and try and, refute any inaccurate information that's out there. I think that's the best way to try and combat it.
Okay, go. Yes.
If I may, Madam
Yes.
Chair, I've had several people say that they're a bit concerned that there was no consultation with them about the transfer of that facility onto the sport park. Was there any opportunity for public consultation, or is there any opportunity, or is there no necessity because it's not going to happen?
So my understanding is a letter just went to the local
Yes.
Waiwai Park community
Yes,
to comment
yes,
on whether they would support that.
Yes, yeah.
I don't know where we are in the consultation process or,
well, last time I spoke
Timeframes?
to Sue Costello, she said that it took 3 days to get them out. She was doing it, and most of the people were unhappy about it.
moving.
Yeah. But
We'll
that
wait
hasn't
and
been
see.
published as far as I'm aware.
Well, I don't know if it's all been collated and, well, we haven't seen a report back to us.
I think at the moment, and I don't think Derek's online, otherwise he'd be able to jump in and advise more accurately than I can. But yeah, I believe they're just putting together all that feedback that they got, so I don't believe any decisions been made.
Yeah.
Rika's correct.
Yeah.
What she said about it was going out to seek the views, it's just
Yes,
putting the information
yes.
together, so.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
There was also through the chair a conversation from one of the residents out there about creating a community garden like Kortunu has. So there's, it feels like there's a lot of disjointed people having conversations in pockets about what they want to do with that land, whereas it's not really up for discussion.
No, I think the one question we asked about is whether that playground gets renewed or it gets renewed at the sports park.
Yes.
That's right.
And that's the only conversation that's up
Yes.
in my mind
Correct.
for that piece of land.
And for me, like when it comes to the stage where it's health and safety issues, that'll be the option. Well, we're just going to take it down and if you can't meet it, we're not going to replace it. If we do, we're going to put it where we want it. So I don't worry about the consultation too much.
So
Speaking about consultation, did you want to go first?
just the Matarangi wastewater treatment plant, some misinformation is circulating in the community. You've probably heard about that, Bruce, about, oh my God, they've got lumps of fecal matter in their mind and their vision floating out to where the children are paddleboarding or swimming. So is there some way we can address that?
Yeah. I think so. I thought some correction stuff had gone out already actually, but I could be wrong. I'm picking up wrong.
I haven't seen any corrections down.
Okay, I thought we jumped on that pretty quick and got the right information out there about what it was, but I'll follow up.
Yeah, please do. I think it needs a wee article. And also the other thing is people saying council hasn't taken into account the new subdivisions out there.
Right.
It's the same old, but you just need one vociferous person to go, oh my God, we're discharging raw sewage into the Whakapoa harbour. It isn't the case.
We're just going to get the correct information out there, that's all we can do, just get it out there.
Even if it's a half a page in the informer or something like that.
Well, even for me, into the Matarangi paper.
That's the one that they read.
It's generated at Matarangi. It's not generated at Whitianga, so whilst the informer's okay because they get it there, I think the people out there do read their own local little paper that, so.
And the local paper has a Facebook thing that can instantly
I agree.
put out a
Is that
statement.
right?
Yeah, and a lot of people are on that Matarangi social media page.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say the ratepayers group's must be able to help get the
Yeah.
messaging out too.
So I would
Yeah, that would
Are you
be,
talking about where all the trees are being removed around the treatment plant? Is that what you're talking about?
No,
Close
thing,
around.
which is a historic consent that's just going for renewal, isn't it, about the
Oh, that one.
discharge, isn't it, from Matarangi? Somebody's put it in the paper, they've taken a photo of it and gone,
It's a real challenge through the chair, because, it's a renewal of a consent, but it's actually
a consent for, a plant to take things to a much higher level of quality treatment. So it's building a plant that will be similar to what Whitianga's got. So it's the whole next level of treatment, so it's really
So it's
improving the
actually good
situation.
news story.
Yes, it'll be good news, it's
Yeah.
a huge.
And that's what we've got to capture that.
So again, it's an opportunity. We've got this circulating and
Yeah.
I'm very aware that, my husband works with a contractor and I don't want to leave him in the shit, excuse the pun. But
We're
I don't want to go on
recording.
social
Very
media
really
and
busy
say,
on-
just about drink what goes into the harbour.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to, he actually said to me, I don't give a shit about what you say, but, you know, it's a sensitive situation.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go off and have a conversation on social media.
That's probably best.
No, but I think you need to get some comms out there.
Yeah, apologies, I've already gone, so I'll follow up with comms and with, my team.
And just if I can add to that, so when that happens, it'd be useful if a copy of what they said got then sent to the elected members.
Agreed.
Because most of the time, we don't know who spoke to who about anything until someone rings us up and
Good
says,
point.
Bill Smith got a letter from someone, and this is what's happening. I said, oh, is that right? Well, first I've ever heard of it.
Yeah.
So that's the comment I make regularly about when people raise stuff. I don't care what you write out there, whether it's right or wrong. All I want to know is it's been done. So when I'm asked, I have an answer. If I don't get asked, I won't bother. And we don't use local media as well as we should. Because that's what we're just saying. So there's Barbara Mangy, there's a monthly paper, wherever it is, and an active ratepayers association. That's where I'll be doing it.
Hmm.
Yes,
But anyhow,
and certainly the ire has been raised through social media as well. So you've got two communities out there focused on the mushroom waste situations. So, yeah.
I have a question around Mercury Reserve Development and why we would need to reconsult with the community on the agreed development, because I feel like we may have already consulted twice in the time that I've been here, which is
Correct, yeah.
5 years.
So through the chair, I understand it's really just around the playground and consulting with the, local kids around what they would like for the playground.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's not a full consultation.
The information I have is it's just around the refresh of the playground.
Community engagement and the stakeholder group, which is probably 10 and under.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Nice.
Okay, good.
I like that.
All right.
And
That
I think
makes,
that's another good news story.
It is.
So
yeah,
we
that
should be
makes me
telling
feel
these
less
things, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
concerned.
A lot of work has already been done.
Oh, yeah.
A number of years, so.
Yes, yeah.
Cool.
Perfect. All right. Anything else? Anyone, got any hard questions for Bruce?
You want to know what VPT is?
Where did we miss that?
Under one reserves projects.
Oh, what page are you on?
Oh,
Acronym, I thought I was going to get asked what it is, so I've been found out.
did you?
I need to share that knowledge now.
Go on then, tell
I'll
us.
go on.
Vandal-proof table.
Of course. I would,
Perfect. That was,
Okay, doesn't it?
Normally I catch the acronyms and make sure they're not in here, like I normally, yeah, but I
Okay.
must have missed that one, slipped through, so I had to.
and they cost 21 grand. That would be for many, okay. Do we want to get into timings of mullock removal?
We can, it's up to you.
Can we?
So cool, yeah,
When?
15th November, so, yeah,
Oh, okay, this
Not
week.
far.
Yeah, not far.
Yeah.
Okay,
not far at all.
both locations.
Yes, both locations, yes.
This, through the chair, this was going to be my members' report about the approaches I've had from, particularly from COA. There is no room for negotiation, it's fait accompli, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. It's the messaging we've given.
Yeah, correct. Through the chair, we obviously, appreciate it. So the members will be getting lobby, we're also getting lots of emails as well. And we're definitely getting a lot of, people saying, like, when do we get together? And so again, we have to say the process was the long-term plan. there was consultation, that was the public process, so unfortunately, whilst the message might be hard to take, that is the reality.
Okay, no, thanks Bruce, appreciate that, and appreciate how much work you guys have got going on and some pretty challenging times as well.
I was just going to what you said, Rob, so, you know, the contact, the ones I've had have been more from Manapower Bay,
Yeah, same.
and saying that now we don't have anything, where do we go? Because I've raised the thing, now we raised it, the next one comes to me, saying, I don't have a rubbish collection, why do I get a rate? Well, we all get a rate, it's $240.33 per annum, which is availability, which is, oh, that's in Mercury Bay. To have a transfer station and to have a collection of some sort. But yeah, that's, people, but again, saying we don't make necessarily very clear that, that's why I'm saying it, that is a fixed charge, doesn't matter whether you have a rubbish collection or not, everybody has it.
There are, so through the chair, there are some issues around, there's always issues around the rating system across the district and anomalies where people get rated for things they shouldn't be rated for, and then it gets corrected and reversed. And, you know, areas where people get services that are not being rated for, you know, and then you know, once that gets discovered, then that rate goes on to their property. So there is an issue that we're working through, the team working with the rates team around Manapower Bay. So some of Manapower Bay have been paying a solid waste rate and shouldn't be, and a large part of Manapower Bay hasn't been paying anything, which is correct. So even though they've been getting the service of mollets, which again is the anomaly through the district. So again, there's got to be some correction there. So I've had a number of emails with people out there, and my team and the rates team are working through that. And they're very close to getting that resolved. So
And there'll be some refunds
yes,
for people.
I would say we would be.
Yeah.
It's just interesting for me, so that, I guess it's not dramatic, but something besides, this is something that had a fair bit of community focus. It surprises me as an organisation, once we've actually made the decision that this is coming out, we don't then look at that further and say, so who are the people that are affected, and have they got a service, yes or no? Have they been paying for one, yes or no? And are we going to do it? Because then we can go on the front foot and say, we're taking it out, and by the way, you'll be getting $241.22 back on your rates bill.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got it. We wait and do it until they ask the question, and then we have a discussion, and it just shows that we're not very efficient. And it probably shows that I'm not very efficient either, because I should have been on it long before I was.
So through the chair, I probably wouldn't be quite so hard on ourselves, you included, is that it's an anomaly that they shouldn't have, if they shouldn't have been paying, they shouldn't be paying. So it's not like we've had a service people have been paying for, we've now removed that service.
Yeah.
There's services which previously haven't been rated by anywhere, have been paying a mullet service and fee. And it's just unfortunate that some of these properties in Manapower Bay have been incorrectly rated for whatever reason. And again, these things are quite tricky to find out, but we'll get, you know, like I said, we're very close to getting it resolved, getting to the bottom of it.
Oh, good.
And getting a resolution around that, so, which will make those people much more happy.
Well, we're making them happy, but.
Happier.
Happier.
Much happier without a war.
All right, did we take
one more thing?
Yes.
The future water source investigation, that's another one that's very, very high profile. It's another one that there should be some comms around to actually say that we are condensing preparation of brief to seek permit proposal, blah, blah, blah. I think there needs to be regular updates, even if a flag comes up on somebody's computer that says, because we're getting closer to summer, they're predicting a La Nina, which would be wetter, warmer, which may, you know, mitigate some of the howls of protest. If we had an El Nino, then people go, oh my God, I've got no water and I'm rated for it, and look at all the subdivisions happening, and blah, blah, blah. So I think just throwing something out there every now and again, like, you know, a piece of bread, to say that, yeah, we're aware of that and something is in train.
Yeah.
Be good.
That's a good comment, thank you.
And so I've been raising that myself for months,
Yeah,
The Bruce is well aware of it. For exactly that.
Just.
It's in the paper, a monthly update on where are we with bloody water, but we don't do anything. I would say the punters out there, there's a whole group of people trying to work productively on a solution. Not all the right people will be probably doing it, but anyhow, They are. But here we are, can't answer a simple bloody question on something that's been alive here for a long time. And I just say, the most vitriolic meeting that I've ever been to in my lifetime was that meeting. And we'll have another one tomorrow if we have a water restriction. So I just think the simple thing is to stay on the front foot and keep people updated, even if it's say, well, we've got nothing more to report from last month, but we're seen not to talk to people. And I know we are to some people, but not all people. And me personally have been involved with that, and I have no idea where you're at. So anyhow, I've sort of given up on it in a way because
I think, can I just speak?
Yeah, please.
I just want to say this, I feel really, really sorry for staff in the current situation with what is going on with the Three Waters.
I was just going to say that.
To what extent do we put a whole lot of ratepayers' money into investigating something which appears to be mandated that legislature is going to go through? To what extent do you make those decisions of how you spend or what? I know the public is clamouring, but by golly, you're going to have the wisdom of Solomon to actually determine what is going in today's very, very volatile environment. And it's a very, very volatile environment. Now, we know that the Mahuta has said that she's going to legislate the Three Waters. So as far as the government is concerned, it's going to go through. So councils and staff work on that. We hear anecdotally there's going to be High Court challenges which may push that out. Who knows what's going to happen, and that's only anecdotal. If we went and put a whole lot of money into water at the moment, we don't know whether the government is going to reimburse us for all those assets and what extent at the moment. We know that the government is going to give possibly some money out, but it's not going to be enough. You know, to me, from a management point of view, the decisions you've got to make in today's environment, because of the impositions imposed by the government at the moment until they get some clarity, make these guys' job just about impossible. And I certainly believe any comms go out have got to paint a picture of the whole volatility of the environment, because the environment is volatile. And if we go out and we as a council or a board say we want to go and spend a whole lot of money here and there and direct these guys to go and do that, then in a year's time that could be down the drain. And we will be strung up to dry as elected members for telling council to go and do that and wasting money, which would just tip the whole lot down the drain. So I just want to paint a picture that out there, and I think it should be out there, that this is a very, very volatile moving situation. And it's just about, and I believe it's just about an impossible situation, because it's so volatile, to make correct management decisions. So I just want to add something to the meeting, because I actually personally think staff are in a very, very, very difficult situation at the moment. That's my topic.
No, I absolutely agree with you, and you're way more articulate than I would have been.
So yeah, and I agree that it's a shitty situation to be in, and you know what Murray has just said could constitute, worded appropriately and politically, a really good press release to say, look, because I think when you're in an especially as an elected organisation, and somewhere that everyone pays money to, you know, like as a business, it is something that everybody feels that they have stakeholding in. If people don't feel they're being listened to or heard, even if their worries are irrational, doesn't matter. They're entitled to have a worry or an opinion. You feed that, and I'm saying, you know, a lot of it isn't irrational, so, you know, I just want to say to whoever's going to watch this later, these are real myths, and people get very emotionally involved. They're paid or they're voted or whatever, and they feel ownership of the situation. And if they're not getting information out and feeling that you're acknowledging them as being listened to, they're being listened to, that's when they get angry. And I do have a great deal of sympathy. And then they look at us as though we're an arrogant organisation that isn't interfacing, for want of a better word, with the people that they represent. So we do need, this is a big one, I think we need to have some press around it.
Yep, agreed.
Or even a Q&A, a video Q&A. Putting some questions to the old DP here.
I think submitting questions prior to a Q&A is a really good
Yeah.
idea, because then staff or elected members have the opportunity to actually find, something like fire a question at Derek, for example, and it's.
There's not, yeah, it's not at
He doesn't
hand.
have the ability to get the data or whatever to
Yeah.
explain it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to take a traditional
No.
press release format.
Yeah.
That, was a very good summary.
I'd be happy if you wanted to do a little.
Shall we? Shall we have a little TV show, Marie?
If you want to do that, I'd do it if they want to do that and put it on
I
there.
think it'd be important.
I think
for
it's-
staff
Facebook to answer the question.
Oh, no, I'm only kidding, I don't want to be in it.
No, I wasn't even gonna go up to, but-
So,
I think it's,
I'm not sure who watches this, but,
I don't, no.
I think which message is
Really is
going
But I think that because this is so dynamic and it is moving and there's so many unknowns, it's hard to put this in writing without being held to, but the deputy mayor said this.
Yeah.
But actually a Q&A where you can give,
Yeah.
some context.
and we can take, the ones we've done before, you can take questions, so you've
Yes,
got like.
either, yeah.
The whole team there managing the questions that are coming through.
Exactly.
Yep. So, it's a good
So,
idea.
yeah, just a different format to your normal press release might be good in this situation.
I still feel a press release and flick it to Matarangi Beach paper, Seagull, whoever, as well as the Informer.
We'll see a press release, the informal, come and see Tony and I.
Yeah, but I think do the Matarangi vote.
So,
Well, that's for the comms team and Bruce to sort out. We don't need to get into the ops of how this should all go down. Right, so did we do a mover and a seconder for the work? No. Did anyone have any final comments, Jeremy? We're just looking at the ceiling? No?
he's sweet.
He was.
Negative, I'm all good.
All right, okay, so moved by
Me.
Delly, seconded by Tony. All those in favour, please say aye.
Alright.
Opposed? None. Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that takes us to item 4.2, which is our streetlight improvement program. And I am told that Ed Varley is going to talk to us about this. Hi, Ed. We can just see your ear and hand.
Right, there we
Oh, there
go.
you go.
Let's try. Moving the camera around.
Yeah, much better.
Perfect.
Good morning, board. George has prepared the report. He's currently getting over being married, so he's asked me to speak to it.
Getting over? He's leaving.
You need more than a week.
Well, congratulations to George.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. I'll pass that on. I'll take the report as read. What we've done is we've reprioritised the street lighting improvement works according to the budget which we now believe is available, which is detailed in the report. Broken that down into a program of 3 specific years. Unfortunately, that it doesn't appear to have come out that well, or doesn't appear to have transitioned from our report into Civic Clerk. But if I may, the intention is to do those works in Cook Drive, Parangi Road, Arthur Street, and Ayers Street during 21-22. To then move on to Robinson Road in 22-23 and 23-24. The intention at that time is to do that as one piece of work stretching out over the 2 financial years, making best use of the works available, and then move on to Sarah Avenue. If the board have any other lights that they'd wish to be put forward or to be considered, I'd be very happy to take those into account. Otherwise, if you have any questions.
Bill?
There has been, from time to time, people saying that the Esplanade, particularly around the playground, is a little bit undernourished with lights. Has that ever been added to the list of concerns or worries or future options?
I wasn't aware that it was a concern, but we can certainly have a look at it, yes.
Yeah.
What area is that, Bill?
Just as you're coming, around the wharf and then down towards.
Out here?
Yeah.
There was a discussion some time ago about footlights, the bollards with footlights in them.
Well, I always think it's
about
really
a year ago
reasonably
talking
bright
about that.
there at night.
Yeah, I've had one or two people say, well, it hasn't worried me because if I'm at night, I turn the lights of the car on. That works.
I've never noticed.
Yeah. Anyway, if it's not an issue.
A heat torch for Tony. Right, okay, so that's one area, Esplanade, to maybe have a look at. Any other comments?
Perhaps one day Mercury Street, I drive down there to Blair's and it's as dark as anything, but just one day.
It's not my traffic though, is it?
Criminals do it on the.
Yeah, criminals are down there.
Yeah, that was the shop.
It is dark down Mercury Street. Especially on that corner in front of Continuing Care where the main
Yes.
entrance is, it's quite dark.
Okay, so that's Mercury Street and Halligan
Right down the
Road.
corner by the Continuing Care.
Halligan Road? Is it that little street? Yeah.
Bruce.
Bruce is the other end,
Yeah.
Halligan's one and Bruce is the other.
Here is
Yeah. Halligan and Mercury Street.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments, any other suggestions? I mean, that plan to me looks pretty good, delivered over a reasonable time frame. So do I need to move on and second for this report? Moved by Bill, seconded by Tony. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None, carried. Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
And that takes us to our action schedule, which is on page 114. Which seems very full.
A lot of it's closed, which is excellent.
Yeah. So they'll just drop off for the next time, will they? Thanks. Can I have a mover and a seconder for the report?
I move.
Tony, thank you.
Yeah, I'll second.
Thanks, Jeremy. Right, any discussion? I had one comment. And I thought last time we talked about having Hotwater Beach lifeguards and bus parking in this as an open item. From
I remember
memory.
you requesting that.
Something along those lines. So can we just,
the beach?
yeah, and we were going to look into charging for buses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
and that's something that we've been talking about investigating for some time. So if we can make sure that's back in there. Anyone else have any comments?
Just pleased to see the flag is flying.
Yes.
Yeah, the footpath, Toikaho and Kuatunu, so there's also been quite a bit of evidence, particularly from the Kuatunu community. I don't know what else we can do. Somebody's actually mowing a strip on the berm out there, and that's from White High Road towards the
I saw
village.
them the other day.
Yeah, and I've got a huge amount of sympathy for them because that part of the village is really, really grown. I don't know, people have been talking about putting in their own hog in the path or getting together as a community and funding it themselves and all sorts of things. So the angst is very, very real. I see that it's closed. Because of Whakakotahi.
Yeah, he's still there. As he talks about.
Is he there? He's shown
still
as
there.
red. Does that mean he's there?
Yeah. Still showing.
Sorry, having issues with technology.
That would be because of the arid looking desert that you're in?
No,
quite central.
There is a road.
There's a
It's
road.
hardly. This is south of Glasgow, so it's hardly arid. The footpath at Kuatunu, there's discussions currently going on with Waka Kotahi on State Highway 25. I believe this is the area that you're referring to, about trying to create a footpath along State Highway 25, with that continuing back into Kuatunu itself. Is this the
Yes,
location
yeah,
you're talking
yeah.
about? Yes. Yeah.
Yes,
Particularly, Ed, between, from the Waitaia Road corner to the village, not the main part that's parallel with the beach. This is the part that goes along Pumpkin Flat Road.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
That section hasn't been discussed at the moment, hasn't been brought to our attention, but it's one of the things that we can look at.
So what I'm hearing from the Kuatunu community, and they've got quite a few families with young children in that Pumpkin Flat area, is that they see that as an urgent priority.
Right, okay.
Can I
It's
add, these people presented to council and to this community board, and to this community board more than once. So it's something that's definitely been alive and well for some time.
But as I understand it, and I'll be corrected by Bruce here, as I understand it, our footpath subsidy this year had been cut.
Correct.
So, you know, once again, I think our comms should explain that our budget for streetlights and our budget for footpaths, which we put in for the next 3 years on our long-term plan, have all of a sudden, am I correct? Correct, been cut in half. So, you know, the public out there should know that whilst these things have been put in, all of a sudden we've had a 50% reduction in our ability to spend, and now it is totally funded by ratepayers with no 51% NZTA subsidy. So that's changed the milk and the coconut for this board and this expenditure requirement significantly. And I can't stress enough that we need to get comms out there, because these things are happening under the radar. You don't see anything in the paper, under the radar, but we as a board are saying we're cut in half. We hear of communities like that one you've got there, and we sympathise entirely with them, but our hands are basically tied because all of a sudden we've had a 50% reduction in budget. Now, I think the comms need to go out there and stretch that and say, well, some of the decisions we're making are not because we want to cut it. We'd sympathise. If we were doing the normal times, we would try to prioritise it, but we're in a very difficult situation, and these are under budget. The government's pulled it, but they haven't put out publicly. The public don't understand. I think that's a really important point.
So the last conversation we had, it was about Waka Kotahi sort of sitting on their pot of gold and actually deferring making any decisions. What I understood was that they didn't have a clear steer for us on what we're going to fund. I think it would be really useful for this community for someone from Waka Kotahi and TCDC staff to go and meet with them. Because, and I know Rick is going to give me the evils any second now, because I did bring this up a while ago and you said, shh. Whatever happened to the ability to put a path from Pumpkin Flat through that land that's owned by, isn't it owned by the Domain Board? That would end up at the Department of Conservation Land. There was something,
Please don't go there, that caused.
Yeah, but
maybe it was him, because that doesn't ringing any bells.
No, that would leave them
said to me, don't you dare mention it, but this community has a real issue of connectivity between where a lot of their housing is and the domain and the village. So I'm just wondering, how can we progress this? How can we talk to the community, and how can we get Waka Kotahi to see it as a priority? And no, I don't live at Kuatunu. Sorry, there you go.
Well, it might have been in the paper, but I didn't see it. So I accept that, but,
Yeah.
you know, once again, if we say that these, it's got to get out there that these are our, Katuna has got to be responded to, that this is a big part.
They've got,
I'm interested to have a conversation with them if they are keen to
Ed's got his hand up.
put some money together into it. Is that their thinking?
Some work and yeah, I think we need to have a few key people sitting around the table at the Quadrennial Hall and have a chat with them about it.
Okay, Ed's got his hand up.
If I may, through the board, the footpath we're talking about, I've just been quickly looking at it on the maps, is purely on the state highway. The current situation with Wakakotahi is that there is a new group being formed for the walking and cycling strategy. They're developing plans. One of the ones was for the cycle bridge at Pyro, thank you. So the other one that they are looking at, and this is at the request of the community board, was the Kuatuna beach footpath, which is the continuation of the existing footpath along Kuatuna Beach to link, if you like, West Kuatuna with the main village. That's a proposal that's already been designed and is being put forward. So they've already engaged to a certain extent with the community board. I'm not aware of any discussions that they've had at the moment, though, with any link towards Pumpkin Flat Road. At the moment, that group is, as I say, newly formed. They are working quite hard to try and catch up on a lot of the background. But the one thing that I have been able to establish from correspondence with them is that whilst the agency is willing to look at the proposals for footpaths, they may not be able to fully fund those, and it will be something that they will be asking the community board to contribute to. At the moment, for the scheme that they've got on the beach area, should we say, we've not had anything in the way of confirmation of potential costs, and I've basically advised them that at the moment the board isn't able to commit to funding that footpath until such time as the agency can actually provide details of costs, etc., that we can consider. My feeling is that this, as you say, this is something that the community board need to discuss with the residents association, also bringing the transport agency into that conversation.
That's what I'd like to see happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we are trying to have a catch up with Brent Page soon. You know, I was talking about that, so something we can chat to him about.
Just come along to that, or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
let me know.
no problem with that. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to catch up with the rate page here. I know that he's had some conversations with Wakakotahi himself, but we'll just take it from there.
For the rate page for the last 3 years, I've said the very same people represented too, the very same people came to teams and presented, the very same people have come here. So I don't have any more times after. I think we understand that they want it. I don't think it's on a work program because there's no money.
No, exactly, and that's the conversation we need to have with the Ratepayer Association.
And it might be more presents there, but I'll say everything that NZTA do now, A, is evidence-based, for a start. They haven't got the number of people, they haven't got the traffic, it doesn't get to the top of the list.
Okay, did anyone else have anything? Thanks, Ed, thanks for jumping in there. Did anyone else have anything that they wanted to talk about on the action schedule?
Has that meeting taken place between the board with been organised, sorry, the board and the police about the antisocial behaviour, because it's an open item on the action schedule.
This afternoon, after
Oh,
the
this
meeting.
afternoon, oh, okay, gotcha.
I've already mentioned that at my last report that I had spoken to Andrew. Is there something else going on?
Didn't everyone get an email?
The feedback, I think it's on the end of this, isn't it?
Yeah, after this meeting, then we can
But
finish
anyway,
this.
we have, haven't seen that. Bernie Deadman, I think we
Yes,
decided his last name was, is coming to speak with the board around 12:15, 12:30.
Oh, good.
yeah,
Good.
so someone's coming in. Sorry, I thought everyone had an
Oh,
email.
no,
No?
I haven't seen it.
No.
Sorry.
Sorry,
Yes.
sorry, that was something I thought Heather was arranging. Yeah, sorry, we've.
Okay.
Hey guys, I got an
So it
email.
wasn't a dumb question.
No, yeah, sorry. So we all need to hang around for a bit after this, sorry.
So apologies if that's gone.
Yes, no worries.
But it's organised and it's happening.
Excellent, that's good news. I'm very happy about that.
Some of
Right,
the uglies won't be.
did we get a mover and seconder? No, sorry, mover and seconder to receive the action schedule by Delhi, seconded by Bill. All those in favour, please say aye.
Right,
Aye.
Opposed, none, carried.
good.
Great, that takes us to our members' reports. Delhi, do you want to start?
Yeah, because I think all of my members' report items have been addressed now, so I was just going to talk about the wastewater consent at Matarangi and angst in that community, the Pōtuni footpath in Whampoa Mollocks, and that's all been dealt with. Thank you.
Nice and quick, thank you. Tony?
Amongst the other things, I've been to 5 of the 8 Shoreline Management Program meetings. Productive meetings for the ones I would go to 10s, which had a big turnout, about 90. The other ones I thought were disappointingly attended, but then a lot of people can't get into the district.
Mm.
And but only people seem to be really interested in the ones that are participating in the community groups and a few of their friends. So, yeah, but suffice to say, I think there's pretty good progress going on in that space. And come the end of the year, and certainly early next year, we'll start to see some real progress there. And yesterday I went down for the official opening of the new cycling and walking bridge at Tairua. Interestingly, it can only take 10 people at a time, and it is a suspension bridge. So I'll be interested to see how the revellers treat it at peak time, but they see how many they can get on, how much of a sway they can put on it. But anyhow, but again, very well attended, and the community there are pretty happy, and that community are busy talking about their footpaths now as well. So that's
Yes,
it for me.
okay, thanks, Tony.
No, I can only report the normal stuff. I did the business awards in Cooker Park a couple of weeks ago, and the industry training awards in Thames last night, and just the normal, rest of this normal other stuff.
Okay, good, thank you. Bill?
3 orders. My feeling is that whatever we do is subject to a risk. So I haven't found anyone yet who supports it. No
I
one.
don't think a lot of people understand.
And that's why. There's just been no information that is based on concrete that they can rely on. I've also been approached by somebody who has uncertainty about how he or she or they or them could operate a business under these circumstances. And the advice I've had from the front desk is bring him in so he can sit down and ask the questions and ask for a result from the people who may or may wish to offer advice that I don't have. So that's a work in progress. And the only other one was the concerns from some people about the possible relocation of the playing area down Mauiwai back there. We've covered that today.
Okay,
Apart from that, my golf is rubbish. Yeah.
thanks, Bill.
Sad story.
That is sad. And I've got a new bag and a new tumbler.
Sorry.
All right, Jeremy?
Yeah, I've had obviously, probably like a lot of you, had a lot of conversations over the last few months about that antisocial behaviour at the skate park. It's got to a point, I don't believe we can ignore it, and we've got a responsibility in the fact we've invested a lot of money into it. It's, you know, the feedback that I'm getting is that a lot of the kids won't use the facility now, and getting to the stage where even parents are stopping their children going down there. So it's good to see, obviously, police going to come in, but I really feel strongly that we need to be proactive in doing some things. And I'd like to suggest that we look at the feasibility study of putting cameras in there. And maybe that goes further. That includes the CBD. I personally don't buy into the privacy around that. Obviously, the funding is an issue, but maybe this day and age, they are a lot more affordable than they were. And the police can only do so much, but we need to have a situation that we know that any behaviour that happens down there can be look back and see what's going on. So I don't know, as fellow board members, whether you have any support around that. I'd be more than happy to facilitate driving some sort of project, certainly putting something together. Maybe it's a community initiative, maybe it's something that we can put out of discretionary funds. But I feel that it's a facility that we all bought into and ratepayers have put a lot of money into that isn't really being utilised the way it was intended. So I would like to see us.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
But I'd be more than comfortable to drive it initially anyway. But I really just wanted to ask whether I think I do. But we'll know a bit more when we discuss the next part of the meeting with the police. But
I absolutely agree with Jeremy. I'd be one to make a personal contribution to it.
yeah, I'd be the same.
Maybe that's where the funds from the next whisky night goes.
So I don't know how we action it, but and then the only other one, and this would be contentious, is do we consider whether we actually allow the installation of the lights? Does that create a bigger problem?
Yeah, that's a conversation to have. I think we need to maybe get the skate park trust guys back in here and have a conversation with them. I don't know where they are with their fundraising. I'm sure a lot of them will be on board with exactly what you've said, like in terms of security cameras and the need for them. But maybe that's the next step, that we have a chat, because they've done a lot of fundraising for the lights. I don't know where they're at in terms of, would anyone in this room, has anyone got contact with them?
No, I haven't, but I agree with what you say. And it's, if the lights are going up, which I think would be an asset, that'd be the right time to make sure we've got the cameras installed at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Possibly on the same poles or whatever.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, quite high.
So yeah, I'm very supportive of that, and being able to use it at night time. Being lit up is probably better than not being lit.
Yeah.
Well, it discourages nefarious activity anyway, at least, but I totally agree with you, Jeremy. I think that's a really good thing to push for.
Yeah, so maybe that's the next step, try and have a chat, get the skate park trust guys together and have a conversation with them, see where they're fundraising at. I remember when we talked about this, and we talked about it not being sort of open 24/7, they talked about lights that would cut off at a certain time of night.
Yeah.
That there would be some safety lighting so no one fell in, but that, you know, essentially there wouldn't be the lighting to skate at a certain time of night.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Except if you were, you know, in terms of nefarious nighttime activities and vandalism, there's a discussion to be had around whether or not they're on all night.
The lights.
As a CBD safety thing.
I'm conscious that this is your members' report, so maybe we could just
No, I'm more than comfortable. That's all I had. I guess all I asked is maybe as Donna is, maybe we could start some sort of loop with the group. I'm happy to be part of it, and if anyone else wants to be part of it, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, but totally support what you're thinking.
Better start that in NYQ when you get home.
Yeah, a bit of time. A week less though.
Yeah.
That'll be something to double check.
Yeah, was there anything else for your members' report?
No, that's it, thank you.
Okay. For me, what have I been up to? We've covered lots of it. Skate park was one. Wanted to touch base on the charging at Hotwater Beach. SMP session, I went to the one in Whitianga, which Tony was there, and I think, I'd like to congratulate Amon and his team. It was a really good session. I felt for him the numbers, I think there were about 12 or 15 members of the public.
Yeah.
But it was a really good question, really well presented, and some good Q&A. And him and Sean, yeah, I think they handled themselves really well. So it was the only session that I got to, but congratulations to that team. And there was one other thing, the new parks contractors that tidy up all the trees and things like that, they seem to be doing a good job. They're out everywhere and, have tidied up gardens and things that have looked scraggly for some time. So, yeah, good contractor there. And that's it for me. That is it for me. So can I get a mover and a seconder for our members' reports? Moved by Murray, seconded by Jeremy. Thank you. All those in favour?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Carried. And I'd like to propose that we move into public excluded. It's funny, we all just